Hello everybody, this is Max Farrow, this is Dex, and the next video is one of the most powerful videos within the network because it explains the foundation of DexSignals.com, the daily signal. We call the daily. Now, what is the daily signal? The daily signal is a range-based time emergent signal that we have put together, and it comes out 6 times a day for up to 10 pairs. We use the time expiries that are on nadex.com exchange that are called the dailies. As you can kind of see right here, they call them the dailies. Now, the times of these expire easily enough. It has a nice little repetitive pattern: 7 a.m., 11 a.m., 3 p.m., 7 p.m., 11 p.m., and 3 a.m. These are the 6 times, EST, Eastern Time, that these expire. Now, our signal fires at a little bit of a different, of course it has to fire prior to, and it's usually about 3 to 2 hours and 45 minutes prior to the expiry. Okay, now it can happen anywhere from the time of 4 o'clock up to 7 a.m., okay, but they usually fire between 4 and 4:15. For the 11 a.m. expire, 8 to 8:15, through to 3 p.m., 12 to 12:15, and you can read the rest there. And here is a small breakout of what it looks like on Dex or Nadex itself. Okay. Now, on the daily, because we talk about it as a range-based trade, and I'll show you what that means here in just a few moments, but the pip spread between a daily statement, the pip spread is basically the amount of pips between strike statements on nadex.com. So here are the different statements that are on Nadex for the 3 a.m. expiry for the Audi JPY. Okay? And this is very important because the pip spread is 20 pips from one statement to the other. So you can see this one has 86.00, then 86.20, then 86.40, 60, 80, and then recycles over and over and over again. That means that's 20 pips difference from one statement to the other. So we try to get you at a nice good range in here, so where you can use working orders and other things, and I'll show you what that is here in just a second. Range movement. As the market moves, we look at 2 major things: time and price. And let me kind of illustrate that here. Now, in the world of Forex, in trading, in basically anything, the market consists of time, which is represented by these 2 vertical lines, and price, which is represented by these 2 horizontal lines. Okay? Time being lateral, that here's 1 minute, 2 minute, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, the time of the day. And then price being vertical here, $1, $2, $3, 4, pips up or what have you, okay? So as time goes on, the market kind of moves like this. The price goes up, it comes down, and the price goes up, comes down. And then, of course, we have time-based points of time during the day. These might be expiries. This could be any time frame. This could be a 1-minute chart, a 15-minute chart, an hour chart, 4-hour chart. Doesn't matter. Daily, it doesn't matter. Okay. When we have a signal, okay, what we mean by what range movement and time emergence, okay, means that on a priority process, we gauge how much the market is moving over a certain period of time and give ourselves markers that say, if the price passes this line here, this then would be fired off as a signal as a buy, right? And we put this information out there. But what we say is that if it comes as a buy, if we say it's going to be a buy, it has to be, we're going to give you a price sustaining that it's not going to fall down below this price. And we do that with all of our pairs. Now, how much time and where the lines are and how the lines are, that's part of our secret. That's what we do, okay? We've gathered a lot of data, millions of trades prior to, millions of signals prior to, and back testing to try to find out what these are. And so as we began to filter out the best times and the best way to find this time emergence pattern, we added some other secret splices into the process on confirmation for that direction and for that process. Now, what happens back here at Dex Signals is that the signal will come out at the certain times, depending if the market has met the requirements for time and certain levels. That's why we don't have 10 pairs come out every 6 hours or every 6 times a day, so every 4 hours. So there's sometimes that 1 or 2 signals release, or sometimes that all 10 will release. Now, because there's such a high range, and let me show you here back on the drawing, right? If this is a 20 to 40 pip range, right? So now we're looking at about a 20 to 40 pip range just right here, okay? If the signal lands on a non-20 mark, so let's say on the 15 pips, say it's the 121.15, then what'll happen is that we're going to have to come down a little bit lower, to make that work. So what'll happen is that this range might now seem like, hey, this isn't something we're going to be able to get to because it's really large, right? But there's a reason why we do this, and we'll show you in the coming videos on how to trade this so you have a better understanding. So that's what we mean. These are not at the money or current base trades and signals, all right? They're not meant to be. These are very safe and easy to use signals and time emergence process that we really enjoy. Now, a couple other things that we can do on how we trade these. One, we put a working order on. Now, this is a special statement or a ticket on Nadex, and we'll show you how to be able to do that. But it's very boring. I'm telling you, a lot of people, this is what a lot of people tell us. It's a set and forget process. There's a lot of them to do. The working orders will fill only between 20 and 30, sometimes 40%, depending on news and other related factors. But you're not filling every single one. But when you do fill them, they have a 97.6% success rate on the average of the entire company. Some of them are 92, but there's not one single one that's under 90%. Not one single one. So very good opportunities. There's also another process, a little bit more exciting, a choke up. We use several tools on the site. We use estimated average pips. We use win movement. We use effective strike ups. We call this choke up because basically you're like choking up on a bat in baseball. You're choking up on the actual statement by using some extra tools. Now, we got some good tools on site. There's more detailed videos to come on exactly how to do this, but you should be very excited about this process. It has a very good win ratio, above 90%. Maybe not as good as the 97, but definitely above 90% when it's done effectively and done right. And just a few small details and confirmations and value settings. So just keep that in mind. More info on the daily. The dailies are our longest running signal and the most accurate running signal of anything I've ever seen. And I've looked at a lot. For sure, the most underused signal, because a lot of people get, because they're so boring, a lot of people try to run over to the intradays and the 5 minutes and all the other great things we have, but they overlook this, thinking it's the grandpa of the system. So most daily signals can handle through news. I know we're always touting, don't trade during news. A lot of the signals, most of them can handle news no matter what. And we'll point those out in future videos to come. Another little tiny secret, it's the favorite single for me. I love it. Max Farrell, the one I use these, because this is the first one we made. And I fell in love with this process. And I use it for my major portfolio trading. Okay, I work about an hour a day and I do very well per month doing that. Now, I'm not going to tell you exactly how much because we're not using a disclaimer here, but all results may vary, and this is for educational purposes only. But the design for our network, this daily signal works extremely well for me. And just like a cook in a kitchen who won't, if he eats his own food, right? I use this one. This is the one that I use. And we have a lot of customers on side that you can look under our performance sheet and our journal sheets and see how well people are using the daily signals. At this time, I want to thank you for joining me on this video for the daily, and we'll see you in the next one. And as always, trade well. I'm Max, and this is Dex.